Hey guys, today we're just gonna read some entertaining posts from r/craftsnark while I show you footage of me making some sakura flowers. The biggest sakura flower here was actually made using another pattern on YouTube, which is linked below, but the smaller ones are more so variations on the bigger one. And these are some vision boards I just made of flower crowns, because I want to maybe make like a sakura crochet flower crown. I think that would be so pretty. But let's read some of these r/craftsnark posts. Honestly, some of them just like really make me feel like I missed the boat with like online crochet. It's like, why didn't I start making crochet content in 2020 when COVID started, or like even like way before that? But I think it's just really easy to feel that way in general if you're like trying to grow a community online, like feeling like you missed the boat. Okay, this post is labeled pattern tester requirements. But these are the requirements. Have a public and active crochet Instagram account. Share progress to your story and post a finished photo or reel of your work to your account and tag at the, not gonna give the name. Provide notes, feedback, and photos by the end of the day on the 19th. The pattern will be released on the 21st. How to apply. Must be following the account. Like and save the Instagram post, share the post to your story, and tag me. Tag a few crochet friends who you think might be interested in testing as well. I'm sorry, but this is just a call for free Instagram promotion, especially because it's a small and seemingly easy project. Top comment, I really wish this trend would stop, or at least stop calling it a tester call and just say you want help marketing for such a simple project. This is ridiculous. I completely agree, and I feel like this is so sad. And I feel like it's another issue where people have talked about how, like, being a pattern tester, like, it feels like a scam because you really are doing, like, sure, you get an unfinished pattern for free, and that's probably all you get. And then you do, like, for some patterns, like, hours and hours of work, and you have to provide feedback and stuff. I think it can definitely be worth it if it's a pattern you would buy and make anyways, but so many of them, it really does just seem like you get the short end of the stick. Moving on to the next post. Knitpicks Ambassador Program T and other yarn influencer programs. Okay, now this is a post where I'm like, darn, I sure missed a good time, which was back in 2021, apparently Knitpicks would pay you $300 a month to make one post on Instagram and 6 stories. And then you can pick whatever you wanted from their site every month, in addition to the payment. So yeah, that was a really sweet deal. Their program is now very, very different. They don't send you products anymore, and they have set prompts they want you to work from and don't accept stories. The prompts count as points, and each month you accumulate points and get a coupon code that expires to buy products. You can earn up to $75 in a coupon code, but that would be honestly embarrassing to be shilling yarn in 6 or 7 posts per month for a company. I can imagine they were losing money left and right with the original program, but this is a dramatic and annoying new program. The OP generally likes Knitpicks and will be purchasing regardless of the awful program. And also the program is appealing to many because it helps people afford yarn they otherwise could not. A lot of y'all are weird in classes for questioning why people would sign up for this. Yeah, true. Okay, my reaction to this is just like, darn, I missed the boat. I'm sure like this other people feel this way too. Like 300 a month for one Instagram post and 6 stories. I mean, of course, I'm assuming you would need quite the following, which I don't have. But still, like, but yeah, apparently the company laid off their whole marketing department, and now they have a new one. And here's the comment that sums it up. They want you to advertise their business according to their parameters for a coupon. And yes, sounds ridiculous. And here's another explanation that's just sad. I think the craft supply market in 2025, pre-recession, high inflation, tariffs, etc., is wildly different from 2021, which was a COVID fueled boom because everyone was picking up new hobbies because there was nothing else to do. The model you had was probably actually pretty lucrative for them, like it was for Joann's, but the bubble has long burst and retailers are back to struggling, and many are just barely making it. Pretty sad. Luckily, there's some people who actually do still find the program helpful. For example, this person makes the 4 to 6 posts a month and gets the 40 to 50 in credit, stick to that budget, plus the $6 shipping, and then sitting in their cart waiting with their credit is a basically free sweater quantity of yarn for a sweater that's been on their list for a while. So yeah, that actually makes sense and does make it sound tempting for someone like me who loves the yarn. But okay, here's just a more funny one. How dare you leave an honest review? ... Thanks, comma, Susan. Okay, this is so funny. I just think Susan is like almost the same as Karen, so that's why it's funny. The thing I've been dreading, all caps, since starting this business happened to me yesterday. I got a 1-star review. In parentheses, thanks, Susan. It really hurts to see what you've worked so hard on for months be tainted by one buyer. But I guess I can look at it as a milestone. Not every customer is going to be pleased, no matter how hard you try. I've just encountered my first experience of that, and now it's not my personal boogeyman anymore. That said, if you've ever bought a product from me and not yet left a review on Etsy, some good reviews would really help undo the damage. Thanks, sewing community. Heart. That's a crazy response to a bad review. Honestly, the response, I feel like a little bit of sympathy just because like I'm absolutely terrified of getting a bad review on Etsy, and I have no reviews yet on Etsy. Especially if it's a bad review on like a pattern that I literally spent like weeks making. It's definitely a fear. I'm just gonna hope that it doesn't happen to me though. But I also think honest reviews are good, and also feedback and criticism, like being able to take criticism is so important. So, moving on. Okay, so now we don't just have pictures of AI crochet that makes you frustrated because you're like, darn, I would really like to make that, which currently I'm working on. If y'all seen any of the AI crochet irises floating around, like I'm so determined to like actually like make one based on one of those images. So stick around for that. But this post is about AI crochet books, which are taking over crochet books on Amazon. And this is a problem with like a bunch of other types of books too, and some more dangerous. Like while this would definitely be frustrating to get this book, and then it just is a sucky AI book. It's not helpful for learning crochet. The ones that I've seen, a little off topic, but like mushroom foraging books, like that is not something you want A to write. Like it's so crazy. It's so sad. Also, just AI in general in the craft community is making me so upset. Like, I can't even use Pinterest anymore. So mad. So mad. Okay, so here's a picture, like, of the book, and, like, I honestly didn't even notice it at first, so, like, that really is on me, but it's like a picture of someone knitting, and there's a comment that says, this is one of those where, yes, the AI content is bad, but also as a left-handed crocheter, if you buy a crochet book with someone knitting on the front, that's kind of on you. Also, the simple and detail. How the F does it have 3.7 out of 5? Okay, I actually went to the listing, and one of the reviews is saying that all the content is clearly just printed off a website, but is in a nonsensical order and says to click on things, so possibly just the cover was AI, but either way, a beginner tutorial that's ripped off the internet and doesn't say how to hold the hook until page 49 of 51 is very stupid. It's so sad. Why is there so much copying and plagiarism and AI? Like, that's why it just feels like It feels so late stage capitalism. It feels like everyone's trying to get a tiny piece of a really dwindling pie. I feel like I'm trying to get a piece of the dwindling pie. Like, because I do hope, like, this is a hobby that I love so much, and I would do it anyways, even if I'm not I mean, I'm not really making. I've made like a total of $9 from this hobby off Etsy. A little bit more at a craft fair, but not any kind of livable income. But like, it would be nice for it to become a source of income, just because, like, I mean, like, who wouldn't want? Who wouldn't want it? It'd be nice. It'd be nice. That means I can do less of other work that's less fun or just feels like crap. Like, one of my side gigs is literally me training AI. Yeah, isn't that crazy? I'm over here complaining about AI, reading posts about AI. I hate it, honestly. Well, I hate how it's being used. And one of the ways I make money is by training AI. So yeah, of course, I would love to make more money crocheting than doing that. Okay, this next one just combines multiple problems. Problems with being a pattern tester and problems with AI. Wow. This is r/craftsnark. First and worst testnet without leaving out the name. So I'm testing for blanket, and it has left a bitter taste in my mouth, and I just want to post out there for people who may consider testing for her in the future. This is a long spiel. I'm just gonna summarize. So the designer was very unresponsive, very unavailable. Seemed like she would just selectively respond to people in the chat. And they were saying, this wouldn't be a big deal if the pattern wasn't riddled with mistakes. Everywhere there could be an arrow, there was. And, they thought, the OP truly believes that she designed the chart, fed it to AI, and had the AI write the design for her. Because no one with a brain could make such obvious errors. It had so clearly not been read over even once before it was sent out to 30 test knitters. I resent spending hours and hours and money on yarn on a pattern that was so half and skipped out on. She has 2 books of patterns published and doesn't know what a tech editor is. No, she is having test knitters do free labor for her so she can push a new book out ASAP. She also began at least 3 other test knits for patterns that I can only assume she also has not knit or tech edited. 2 weeks after our test knit began. I was really looking forward to my first test knit, and I would have enjoyed it so much more if the designer had put any effort into her design. I will say the chart she designed is cute, and I'm actually happy with my sweater, but at least half of what made it work was my previous experience, the support of other testers, and completely ignoring her math and doing my own. Influencers should not offload all of the work pattern design to these testers. Rant over. Would love to hear from people who had similar experience. Update. I made this post to talk about the problems with the test, but it seems like there's even more going on here than I realized. Seems like the designer may have stolen this design and past designs. I did not mean to wade into all this muck, but here we are. There's no comment yet from the designer. She's been accused of plagiarizing. The designs are linked in the comments if you want to look for yourself. And here's the top comment. I am late to this, but I saw the discussion about it in r/knitting and wanted to come here to mention that I'd purchased and immediately returned her book because it was the most obvious AI drafted thing I'd ever seen, and it gave me the ick. The prose was bad enough. It certainly doesn't surprise me to hear that her patterns themselves are also garbled beyond use. This was before I'd even heard about the allegations of plagiarism and theft, which are of course beyond the pale. It's such a shame to see her treating test knitters like this, and I'm really sorry it happened to y'all. No one should have to invest their time and talent, let alone their money, into actually making a pattern she couldn't even be bothered to write herself. This is so crazy. Like, this is so late stage capitalism. This is so AI. Oh my gosh. Also, like, are there any small designers out there who like look? I've released only 2 patterns so far, but I did not hire no tech tech editor because those costs like a lot of money. It seems like that's like almost more common for knitting patterns. Like I feel like that's been mentioned more of knitting patterns than crochet patterns, so maybe that's a thing. But all I'm saying is I had a technical writing internship for 3 months. So is that good enough? Can I just tech edit my own patterns then? Also, like what if I just like got into like tech editing other people's patterns? Like I actually this is something I gotta look into. But yeah, this post just has like so much so much on it. This is like so given y'all already seen that drama about like the ducks. Someone like mass producing the ducks. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Um, like there's a crochet pattern. Someone took that. They were like, crocheting always takes too long. Let me just mass produce someone else's pattern and not credit them at all, and think that that's totally okay. Okay, yeah. I wonder if there's any craftsnark about that. Well, there's already YouTube videos on that though. Okay, this next one, like, I actually feel conflicted about, and like, I agree with like both sides of the comments on this one. Just because, like, I've noticed, like, I'll just want to be like on Instagram and looking at like old friends or like old acquaintances from high school. Like, I just want to look at their stories because I'm nosy, right? And then I just get like bombarded with the most negative, doom scrolly political news ever, and I'm like, now I feel great. I don't even want to get on Instagram anymore. So let's read the post. It is indie yarn dyers and politics. Does it bother anyone else that indie yarn dyers pattern? Sorry. Does it bother anyone else that indie yarn dyers, pattern writers, and generally the larger names in the community have stopped speaking up about politics? For example, the Sorella affiliated accounts used to share a lot of resources and book recs. Now all political anything seems to have been deleted from all of their accounts. Of course, there are still more vocal dyers like Wink Pigments and others, but I'm really wondering why most seem to have lost their motivation to speak up. Frankly, any business that is not clear on where they stand won't get another money out of me during this administration. Okay. Comments. Finding a place to look at content that has no political anything is becoming more and more difficult. And I completely agree with that. If I want to read or talk about politics, I can go to thousands of places online for that. Sometimes I just want to read about sewing or crochet and not have it have anything to do with anything going on in the world. And sometimes, frankly, I'm out of energy to give about anything other than making sure my family is happy and healthy. That for me is beyond a full-time job right now. It's exhausting to me that so many content creators feel the need to have a hot take about every darn thing. You know what? Yeah. Here's another one. Unpopular opinion, but I am not interested in politics for my creators. I want content about sewing or crafting. If I want politics, I go to a political site. I mean, the UK ones I've been gifted yarn from are plant fiber yarn companies, so that pretty much speaks for itself. Expecting a seller of wool to not be conservative in at least those respects is a contradiction in itself. I think we tend to have a bit more awareness about farming here, but accordingly, less romanticization. Okay, this one's interesting. It's like, so like if we're a completely plant-based vegan yarn company, you just assume that we're left, I guess, and expect animal production to be conservative. Um, that's also a pretty interesting take, but I definitely like I definitely think there probably is a correlation there. Can y'all please get a grip and realize that small businesses and their owners making a political choice to not speak out is not the same thing as large corporations tacitly agreeing with or supporting the current regime? Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree with that one. Here's a comment I agree with. Well, maybe not. This might not be the worst timeline, but we are in the worst timeline, and I think many of us are all just trying to do the best we can. So real. I also think here's a comment from someone who's like they're really trying and like I definitely like respect the grind. But like it does seem very hard. They say I have noticed this trend just across the board and it does bother me. I'm trying my best to drop anyone who doesn't support inclusivity, my general politics, or treat their workers well, big or small. Sometimes I get burnt out and take a break, but when I have the energy, I basically research every purchase. Once you get a list of merchants you support, it's not as hard. I have to make compromises sometimes, but overall it's better than not trying at all. Don't want to make perfect the enemy of good. I definitely like the way they ended that because that's kind of how what I was talking about in my other Etsy small business goals video, where like, even Etsy as a platform is an imperfect way to start, but I'm just trying to start my little business and try to make like conscious decisions where I can and where it makes sense for me. So I definitely think we shouldn't worry about being perfect, but should try to make little small changes where we can make them and where they make sense for us as individuals. Um, I hope this video didn't like destroy your mental health. At least, hopefully, you got a little bit of entertainment out of it with some crocheting. Here's the little flowers I made, and thank you for watching. Bye.